A lot of us like to fantasize about what we would do if we won the lottery. Colorado lawmakers don't really have that problem. After a strong year for the economy, legislators are now considering how to spend an unprecedented budget. Denver 7's political reporter Megan Lopez tries to make sense of the dollars being spent.
If the Colorado legislature did nothing else this session, the one thing state lawmakers must do is pass a balanced budget. It is by far the most important bill to come out of this building each year, but arguably it's also one of the most boring bills. Here's a quick look at where some of that money is going and what it will mean for you. On most days, the Senate floor doesn't have the smell of food overwhelming the chamber, but on budget day,
an historic budget.
State lawmakers grill burgers and one another about the specifics of spending. This year's state budget is historic, $36.4 billion. The Joint Budget Committee has been working all year on the legislation. Last week, the House debated it. This week, it's the Senate's turn to take on the long bill.
And the reason it's called the long bill is it's 600 pages of our budget. And we're going through line by line, about 1,000 lines.
One of the single biggest line items, education, $7.19 billion slated for K through 12, a nearly 12% increase from last year.
For the average family, they're going to see hundreds of dollars more in their child's classroom.
Bringing spending to about $9,500 per student and bringing down the negative factor.
I would like to have completely reduced the budget stabilization factor, but the JBC's plan is to do that over the next 2 or 3 years.
Higher education will also see more money, which will help decrease tuition costs. Early childhood education, meanwhile, will see $8.19 million, or a 2,410% increase in spending. On the public safety front, state lawmakers are dedicating $565 million, or a 4.2% spending increase to fund some of their crime production priorities like safe street grants. Finally, healthcare will see $14.19 billion of the budget, an increase state lawmakers say is needed as federal funding winds down.
That means the state needs to be ready to take on some more of those costs.
On the Senate floor, state lawmakers worked to move around some of that money to fund their priorities, but overall Republican and Democratic JBC members say they're happy with the budget. They're concerned now with all this historic spending.
We're laying a lot of new work on our departments. I call it capacity. Do we actually have the workforce to do the work?
Because passing a historic budget is one thing, implementing it is a different challenge altogether. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.